All right, everybody, get your lab coats out if you got them. Get whatever talisman that tells you that you have entered the world of data-driven decision making. Whatever brew gets you going, because it is time for us to build something. So we've talked about the changes that are happening with marketers and a little bit about analytics. I could take you through all of the tips and tools that will make you a great conversion optimizer, but I think it's best if we do it in the context of a little project. I recommend that you take one of the pages that you're going to be working on, one of your landing pages, one of your website pages, and get ready to start planning out the design along with me, because we're going to build something. And in fact, we're going to build a landing page. So why did I choose a landing page as the design element that we're going to do this data-driven design process on? Well, landing pages are amazing levers that we can push and pull to improve the performance of a website, of a campaign, of any of the channels that we're coming through, because they serve very specific purposes. So any email campaign that you're sending should be driving to landing pages, even if you are an e-commerce site. Any social media posts should be driving to landing pages. And if you are spending money on ads, paid ads on Facebook, pay-per-click ads on Google or Bing, you should be driving those visits, those clicks to a landing page. Because a landing page is different from the other pages we're creating. It only has two jobs. The first job of the landing page is to keep a promise, to keep the promise that was made in the ad, in the email, in the social media post, or on a link on our site that brought them to this page. If you don't know the promise that is driving people to the page that you're building, you're not building a landing page. You're building something else. You're building a home page, or a routing page, or information page. So keep the promise. That's the first job of the landing page. The second job of the landing page is to bring the visitor to choice. It should never, ever be a mystery to our visitors that we're asking them to do something. We want to drive them to action, and it has to be clear. If you're putting anything on the page that is not directly destined to make the visitor feel comfortable and confident taking action on the page, you're building something else. You're giving the page some other jobs to do. So, two jobs only: keep the promise, get the visitor to take action, get the visitor to make a choice. So when we put together a landing page, we start with a pure solution of web page. And we're going to add two elements to this. We're going to add some offer, the offer that's on the page, and we're going to add some form. And in a digital environment, a form is the most typical way for a visitor to take action. Swirl these together very vigorously, and we will end up with a landing page. Those are the only two elements. The offer should be lined up with the promise that was made in the ad, in the email, in the social post, and the link. And the form gives the visitor a way to take action. So this is the perfect landing page. It has both of the elements. It has an offer. In this case, the offer is the most common one found on forms, submit. And it has the form. In this case, a single button, a very simple form, but this is a way that a visitor could take action. So that's a landing page. Any questions? Yes, I know you have questions. For instance, what kind of an offer is submit? So we need to come up with a great offer, and this is where we get to go and do the first study. So we need to come up with a great offer, and the first place we're going to do that is researching data that we already have. If you go down to the basement of your building and you crack open the antiquated door with a creak and you peer inside, you'll find some people in there. They're the PPC people, and they're driving the paid search campaigns. And they will have access to some data that you may not look at very often, the paid search data. And it looks something like this. It has the ads that you're running on paid search for given keywords, and they're grouped by the keywords. And then it tells you the number of impressions, which is the number of times that that ad has been served on a page, and things like what position it's in. But we're mostly interested in the number of impressions because we want to compare that to the number of clicks. And what this gives us is a click-through rate. Now, a number of clicks can be called interactions, meaning that they interacted on it. In some cases, it's a click to call. In some cases, it's a click to come to your website. So they genericize that for interactions. But we want to know what that ratio is, the number of clicks to the number of impressions. That's our click-through rate. In this case, it's shown right there for you as the interaction rate. Now, those ads that have the highest interaction rate, we need to go and look at the language that is being used there. Number one, what is being offered? Number two, what are the words that are used? Those could be the right words for our offer because in this case, it looks like they are getting the most clicks. So have your PPC folks, the gnomes downstairs, generate a spreadsheet for you and let you know what ads are being served, how many impressions they're getting, how many clicks, and if you're really good, you instrumented your Google AdWords campaign all the way through to conversions. So that would be the best measure, better than click-through rate, would tell you what the conversion rate is on the site. Of course, if you're designing a landing page, I guess you're hoping to improve that. Another place you can look is to go visit your email service provider or go look at your marketing automation system wherever you send emails from. I did a real simple report. I pulled the subject lines of the emails that I was sending, and I looked at the open rate and the click-through rate. Now, open rate is a little dicey, not a particularly good metric, but I do like to look at the click-through rate because it tells me which emails are getting more people to my website. I ranked these subject lines by click-through rate so that the ones with the highest click-through rates appear at the top. And I found this trend, incidentally. The ones that were most highly clicked were about writing, copywriting, persuasion, value proposition, business taglines, visual cues. These topics are about the words, and this tells me that my audience, at least my email audience, is interested in how we use words to persuade people. So this told me, I didn't expect it, but I'm going to go do a lead magnet myself and generate a landing page for that lead magnet that's all about how to write persuasively. But you can see that I use this to figure out what a great offer would be on a landing page. Where are some other places that you can look? You can look on Facebook. Facebook is an amazing analytics reporting. If you've been running ads on Facebook, go find out what's been working there and what's been generating clicks. Any other ad network that you have been working with can be a source of this information. So start with what you've got already. Let me show you an example. We had a client, Hunter Douglas. These folks make high-end window coverings. These are automated blinds that go up and down and swivel and open following the sun. You can control them from your iPad. These are high-end, generally luxury items. And we assumed that we had high-income people coming, that they weren't going to be price sensitive, that discounts and things wouldn't be a big deal. So the landing page we wrote was not focused on the discounts. Unbelievable savings and free installation. Those are service oriented. Take the stress out of shopping for large window fashions. We thought that folks in this high income arena would not want to stress out over shopping. However, when we looked at the ads in paid search, we found that far and away the hottest ads were like this: 20% off or $100 off. Now, this is not the relational visitor that we thought we had. This is a transactional buyer. A transactional buyer's biggest fear is spending $1 more than they should have on anything. They see shopping as part of the fun. They see it as a full contact sport. They love to shop. They love discounts, and they'll jump through hoops to save another 5% or 10%. This is a very different visitor than what we thought we had. What we thought we had were relational visitors whose biggest fear is buying the wrong thing. They're looking for an advisor. They're looking for an expert. The transactional buyer, they want to be the expert, and they'll do the research. So we thought, wow, we really misread the market here if this is right. Let's adjust the landing page to match these ads. So we zeroed in on this $100 off ad, and we redesigned the landing page. So we wanted to make sure that we kept the promise. We mentioned the $100 either in the headline or the subheadline is where you need to really mention it. And we talked about in-home manufacturer discounts, that our certified designers can offer you $100 off each unit you purchase. Transactional heaven. We talked about combining discounts, and we even changed the call to action on the button to lock in your savings, because transactional shoppers hate the thought of missing out on a value. So what did we see? We saw a 40% increase in an A/B test in booked meetings with a designer to go in their home and measure out their home than in the previous landing page. This is the power of having the right offer and the right words on your landing page. I like this data because it follows the rules of behavioral data, and we're going to dive more into what these rules are, but it's generally large sample size. So we talked about our natural ability to understand that sample size is important. It is actual buyers and prospects, not people pretending. It's quantitative. It is over time, so it isn't just like a few days, but these campaigns generally run for a long period of time. Your email campaigns generally run for a long period of time. It's recent, unless you are looking at data from a previous period or a previous year. And these are all the things that we want to see in data. This tells us that what we're looking at is very, very strongly directional in the way we should be making decisions. So I'll talk more about those rules in a later session.